Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm the producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me is my host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, Logan?
Man, Jeremiah, I'm doing great. Let me tell you, I'm in nice AC. It's hot outside. I'm feeling good. Ready to talk some football today.
Oh, it's hot. Well, speaking of somebody who was hot back in the day, our boy, D.D. Lewis, a Knoxvillian original, born in Knoxville, went to Fulton High School. It's got our Legends video today. Real quick, Logan, why don't you tell us some more about Mr. D.D. Lewis?
Let's talk about D.D. Lewis, as we all know, like you said, from Fulton in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, like I said, born in Knoxville, he was an all-state linebacker for Fulton High School in 1963. There's the young man up there in the picture. He attended Mississippi State University from 1965 through 1967. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 67, had a heck of a season. He was also a two-time All-SEC in 1966 and also 1967. He was an All-American in his senior year. And, you know, we all know Coach Bear Bryant, the legendary Alabama coach. He called him the, quote, best linebacker in the country coming out of that 67 season, man. So Lewis had a great career at Mississippi State. And on the next slide, we'll be talking a little bit more about him and where he went in the pros level. He was 6'1", 225, and he was drafted by the Cowboys in the 6th round in 1968. Now, when I was doing my research on him, the reason that the Cowboys drafted him so late is a lot of people thought he was undersized, being 6'1" and being a linebacker. I mean, you know, you see now with football, everyone's changing. All the archetypes, all the body types are changing. But, man, back then it was a little bit different. So about D.D. Lewis, he took over the starting linebacker job in 1973 after waiting a few years, waiting his turn. And, man, after that, man, he took off. He played for the Cowboys from 1968 through 81, his whole entire career. He played a total of 186 games. But, man, once he started, he went for 135 games in a row. Very, very healthy man and just absolutely a threat on the field. He had 8 interceptions, and he was also a 2-time Super Bowl champion for the Dallas Cowboys in both 1972 as well as 1978. And Mr. Lewis was a great player for the Cowboys. I know all of Cowboy Nation has some fond memories of him, I'm sure, back in those championship days. So some more facts about him. He played in 27 playoff games, which is still a Cowboy record. Man, 27 playoff game, that just lets you know, how successful that he was and how good those Cowboys teams were back then. He also played in 5 Super Bowls. Like I said, he won the 2, but, man, playing in 5 Super Bowls, you don't see that much very often. Man, he's so good that he was inducted into 3 Hall of Fames, the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame in 1987. He's also inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in 2006. And, you know, after that great career at Mississippi State University for the Bulldogs, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2001. Man, doing my research on D.D. Lewis, man, he was just a freak athlete, you know, great for the Cowboys back in the day. And just, you know, one of those legends that we get to look at that, you know, not a whole lot of people just think of, you know, all-time greats. But once you dig deep, look into the numbers and just, you know, see how dominant he was. I mean, he started 135 games in a row. And in the NFL or any kind of, you know, any sport, that's hard to do.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I was struck by that, and I always learn something every time we do these history videos, so thank you a lot, Mr. Landers.
No problem.
But something that really stuck out to me and something that really drove me in as a fan and in my own fandom was Knoxville-born, went to the Fulton High School, inducted into the Tennessee Hall of Fame, and he's also seemed like he was a great SEC player overall, right? So, yeah, and great professional career, and it's one of those players that, like, why don't people think about D.D. Lewis more often, you know? And so, yeah, thank you for that, man. What's your final take on D.D. Lewis?
Man, like you were saying earlier, man, once we dig into these players that, you know, I wouldn't say somewhat forgotten, but not a lot of people think about off the top of their head. You just, you know, especially the older generation in the, like I said, the late 60s, early 70s players. There's a lot of greats that come out of that era, man, and D.D. Lewis is for sure one of them. Great player.
That's true. Well, for everybody watching at home, if there are any other history videos that you want to know about some of the big players that people keep forgetting about, then let us know in the comments what you're thinking. I am producer Jeremiah Long, and you've been watching with our host, Logan Landers, and we are 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. Join us again later this week for more live videos. See you guys then.
See.